In the last lecture we have discussed we have started discussion on amortized analysis, right? And we have also seen one technique of amortized analysis, which is the aggregate method, right? In this part, we are or in this lecture we are going to explore the other two. So in this part we are going to discuss the accounting method, and in the next part we are going to discuss about the potential method. Okay, so what is an accounting method, or how do we perform I mean, how do we use this technique to perform amortized analysis? Okay, so in accounting method, what we do, we basically assign or determine different charges, okay, to different operations. Charge mean cost, you can tell. Okay, so suppose in the last lecture, as I told you, that all the three techniques we are going to explore using the same two example, right? First one is stack operations, and the other one is binary counter. Okay, so suppose in the stack operations, you know that there are three operations, right? Push, pop, and multi-pop. So what we will do in accounting method? In accounting method, we are going to assign charges to these operations. Okay, so for push, we are going to charge 2, or we are going to tell that the push is going to take 2 rupees for simplicity. Let us tell that it is going to take 2 rupees or 2 points, whatever you can tell. We are going to cost 0 for both multi-pop and pop operations. Okay. So this is how we work in accounting method. Rather than comparing, rather than finding out the total cost on sequence of n operations that we have done in aggregate method, what we are doing over here is we are assigning charges directly to the operations. Okay, at the start of analysis. But to assign those charges, you have to assign these charges very carefully, so that there should be some logical or logic behind assigning these charges. Okay, so obviously why we have put 0 to the push, 0 to both pop and pop, multi pop, and 2 cost to the push operation. There is a reason behind that, which we are going to see. Okay, now the charged amount is called the amortized cost of that operation. Okay, so we are going to assign some charges to each of the operations in that for the data structure, and we are going to tell that charges is basically nothing but the amortized cost of that operation. Okay, now in this process of assigning charges to the operation, you will find that some of the charges, some of the operations are overcharged, okay, or undercharged as well with respect to their actual cost. So if you look at this example where we are basically charging 2 for push, right? But normally the cost of push is 1, right? But we are charging 2 for push, and we are charging 0 for both pop and multi-pop. So for pop also, you can understand that when we are popping one element, right? So the charge for popping should be 1, but we are basically charging it 0. So the pop operation is undercharged here. Similarly, in case of multi-pop, as we have seen in the last lecture, that multi-pop has actual cost of minimum of size, minimum of size of the stack, and minimum of the parameter k, that is given input to the multi-pop operation, right? So again, in that respect, you can tell that 0 is undercharged for the multi-pop operation, right? So you can see that in accounting method, whenever we are assigning some charges to the operations of a data structure, some of the operations are going to be overcharged and some are going to be undercharged, okay, with respect to their actual cost. And this overcharged operations, or the overcharge is basically going to accumulate as a credit. Okay, so whenever you are calling the push operation, it is being overcharged, and the amount which are being overcharged is going to be accumulated by the data structure as a credit, which we are going to use to pay the undercharged operation. Okay, so the operation push is giving credit to the data structure, and whenever the pop and multi-pop operation is being called, the actual cost is being paid from the credit of that operation. Okay, so this credit are just for concept. Okay, for analysis only. I mean, you do not have to implement this credit in the code. Okay, so whenever you have stack, you do not have any property called credit for that. Okay, so it is just for analysis purpose. So so what it is doing, so again in accounting method we are giving some charges to the operations of the data structure, and in that, while doing that, we found that some of the operations are overcharged and some are undercharged, and we also have got to know that the overcharge operations are basically giving us credit for the data structure which we are going to use to pay for the undercharged operation. Okay, so now while doing this, I mean, now the question comes that how should we determine the charges, okay, for the operations. So now you have to assign those charges in a way that these following two conditions hold. Okay, so what are the conditions? The first condition is telling that the total amortized cost must be an upper bound of the total actual cost. So if we consider sequence of n operations, okay, so for that the total of amortized cost has to be an upper bound of the total actual cost. So we can mathematically represent it is in this way. So for a sequence of n operation, the summation of actual cost has to be less than or equals to the summation of amortized cost. Okay, so this is one criteria that has to be followed, and the second criteria that has to be followed is that the total credit must not be negative all the time. Okay, must be non-negative all the time. So again, this is another criteria that has to be followed. Okay, so let us see the example one by one. So first we are look into the stack operations, right? So in stack operations we have three operations, right? One is push, another is pop, another is multi-pop, right? And the actual cost of push is 1, actual cost of pop is 1, and actual cost of multi-pop is minimum of this sizes and k, right? Where k is the input parameter to the multi-pop operation. Now how we have assigned the amortized cost in the accounting method? So for push we have assigned 2, okay, and for pop we are assigned nothing, and for multi-pop also we are assigned nothing. Now why we have done this? So whenever we are pushing, okay, so we are assigning amortized cost 2 over here. So from that 2 cost, one is basically used for paying the actual cost of the push operation. Okay, so from this 2 cost, one is used for this actual cost. Okay, and another cost, the remaining one cost is basically remains as credit, which will be used when the item is pop. So whenever we are pushing some item in the stack, what we are doing, we are basically, you can tell that we are adding one cost to the element and we are pushing it. Okay, so whenever we are popping it, that cost is basically used by the pop operation. Okay, so in case of pop operation, so since there is no cost, and the explanation is that I mean the actual cost is going to be paid by the credit. Okay, so the credit that has been accumulated by the push operation will be used in this pop operation. Okay, now again in the multi-pop there are no amortized cost, and the explanation is for each item that will be popped using a multi-pop, a credit is already stored in the stack which will be used. So as we have seen, or as you know, that we can pop only those items that are pushed, right? Now if we have already given one credit for all the items that are pushed in the stack, then I mean that one cost can be used by the pop operation and multi-pop operation as well, because inside multi-pop operation the pop operation is used, right, in the loop. So so this is the explanation, or this is how we can assign amortized cost or to the operations of a data structure using accounting method. Okay, so now we have to find out whether those two criteria that I have shown in the last slide hold for this. Okay, so the first one is the credit is always non-negative during the sequence of n operations? And if you look at it, the answer is yes. Why? So initially the stack was empty, right? So when the stack was empty, so there is no element, so there is no credit as well, right? Therefore the credit is 0 initially, so which is non-negative. Now whenever you are pushing some element, right, whenever you are pushing some element, for each element there will be one credit, right? So in the stack there will be either positive number of element or 0 elements, right? So that means there will be either positive credit or 0 credit. Okay, so which essentially tells us the credit is always non-negative during the sequence of n operations. Okay, so this is true. Now the second question is the total amortized cost is an upper bound of the total actual cost? So let us consider some scenario, and from that we can infer that, I mean from the scenario we can infer that this is also going to be true. So suppose all the operations, all the n operations are push operations. Okay, so we are considering all the n operations are push operations. So if n push operations is there, right? So if n push operations is there, so what will be the actual cost? The actual cost is going to be n, right? And what will be the amortized cost? So for each push operation the amortized cost is 2, right? So the amortized cost will be twice n. Okay, so the amortized cost which is twice n is basically upper bounding or giving an upper bound to the actual cost, right? Now if we have suppose for this n operations we have n by 2 push operations and n by 2 pop operations. Okay, n by 2 push operations plus n by 2 pop operations. So what will happen in that case? So n by 2 push operations, so n by 2 push operations will have for each of the push operations the actual cost is 1, right? So there will be n by 2 cost for push. So the first we are writing the actual cost, so this is n by 2 for push, and for pop operation also the actual cost is 1 for each operation, right? So again for that pop operation we will have n by 2 pop, right? Okay, so there will be n by 2 pop, so in total that is n, total n cost is there, right, for n by 2 push and n by 2 pop operations. And if we do the amortized analysis, what we will have? So for amortized analysis over here, so for this n by 2 push operations, for each of them we have 2 amortized costs, right? So for this n by 2 push operations we have total cost of twice into n by 2, which is nothing but 2 n, right? So twice into n by 2 for push, plus for pop operation the amortized cost is 0, right? So there will be 0 into n by 2 or 0, right? So this again is giving the total amortized cost of n, right? So again you can tell that this actual cost n is less than or equals to the amortized cost n, right? So it is giving an upper bound. If you consider the case where the first n minus 1 operation is push operation, right? So first n minus 1 operations are push operations. So in that case what will happen? In that case the actual cost there will be I mean 1 for each of the push operations, so the actual cost is going to be n minus 1 itself, right? And what will be the amortized cost for this n minus 1 push operations? For this n minus 1 push operations the amortized cost is going to be twice into n minus 1, right? Because each push operation is taking 2 cost, right? So this will be twice into n minus 1, right? And one operation we have multi-pop operation, which basically takes out all the n minus 1 operation 1 elements from the stack. Okay, so what will happen then? So here the for this multi-pop call, okay, so for this multi-pop call which basically are taking out all the elements from the stack, what we have, the actual cost will be minimum of size of s and k. So to take out all the elements from the stack you have to give the value of k at least n minus 1. Okay, and size, I mean, you can give any value of k which is greater than or equals to n minus 1. Okay, to take out all the elements using the multipop operation. So minimum of size of the stack and k is going to be n minus 1. Okay, so the actual cost is going to be n minus 1, right? And amortized cost for this multipop operation is going to be 0, right? So that will be 0. Now total actual cost, if you sum this is n minus 1, so total actual cost is going to be twice into n minus 1, right? Now if you look at the total amortized cost over here, so you will also find that this is twice into n minus 1. So we can tell that this total actual cost, which is twice n minus 1, is less than or equals to twice n minus 1, which is the amortized cost, right? So in all the cases, I mean, you take any combination of push and pop operation, you will find that the total amortized cost is always giving you an upper bound in the for the total actual cost. Okay, therefore we can tell that the cost that we have assigned as a amortized cost for these operations are valid, and hence total I mean amortized cost for each operation is order of 1. So amortized cost is order of 1. It means, I mean, if you look at this, the amortized cost for push is 2, which is nothing but order of 1, right? It is not dependent on n, right? So amortized cost of pop is 0, so 0 is a constant, means order of 1. Okay, again amortized cost of multipop is 0, so 0 is nothing but order of 1. Okay, in that sense all of them are order of 1. Okay, so this is how we do the analysis of stack operations using uh, accounting method. Okay, so next we have binary counter, so we are going to explore this in the next part. Okay.